Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to call this meeting to order this evening. Tonight is the Brushy Creek Regional Utility Authority's regular meeting. We are all together here tonight on Wednesday, March 27th, and the time is 6 p.m. Ms. Monique, do you mind calling roll, please?
President Navarrete,
Present.
Vice President Thomas, Secretary Flores.
Here.
Director Duffy. Director Basie.
Here.
Director Seiler.
Here.
Okay, great. We have a quorum. We'll be able to do business this evening. Okay, going on to citizen communications. Do we have any this evening? Nope. All righty, easy peasy. Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 4, approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Secretary Flores. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second by Citizen Director Duffy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, item number 5. We have 5A. Consider an executive session as authorized by Section 551.071 Government Code related to the consultation with the board attorneys regarding a proposed agreement with Pertinlas Electric Corp. We are adjourned into executive session at 6:06. You must control it back there. Yep. .33 p.m. from executive session. We have, do we need a motion for no action?
No.
Nope.
What do you?
If we need a motion for no action on.
No.
Okay. Okay, so moving on, we'll go to number 6, staff reports. We're going to consider an update from the general manager regarding the status of purchasing policy revisions, zebra mussels, and Phase 1C and Phase 2 projects, and the new BCRUA website. Ms. Bondi.
Thank you. There's a lot going on, so I wanted to take a few moments and give you a high-level overview of some of the items that are having most of our attention right now. And one particular item that is a heads up on what staff is working on that we plan to bring to the board at the next, one of the next one of the next board meetings, so that for your consideration. So I wanted to give you an overview, and this relates to the purchasing policy. So BCRUA has a procurement policy, and we have a team of your financial staff that have been working on sort of looking at the whole complexity of our processes and trying to streamline them, because we have so many things going on right now with, you know, the 3 plus loans that we have coming in, and trying to keep everything separate. We have 4 projects underway, and then all the transactions that go along with all the movement of the funds. It's causing a pretty big workload, and so we're relooking at how BCRUA has done our financial management, and focusing on doing some streamlining. And one of the things that we're looking at is how payments are approved, and we have this multi-tiered process that sometimes puts us at risk of not meeting our 30-day turnaround for paying our vendors. So we've looked at changing our purchasing limit for our supervisor, our plant supervisor. Right now, he has $1,000 approval, and we're proposing to you that we raise that to $10,000, so he can order things like chemicals and pay the electric bills and things like that. And then secondly, we have, I have a purchasing approval between $3,000 and $50,000 of things that are already in the budget that you approved. But right now, once I approve the payment, then the operating committee needs to approve the payment, and 2 cities need to do that. So we want to be able to streamline that so we don't need to get approvals upon approvals when the OC will continue to review the budget and charge us against that budget. So those would be changes that the board would need to approve, and I'm just wanting to bring it up now, so next time if I bring the changes to you, you'll have some context for that. And then just some updates on some of the projects. You know, we are doing the 1C water treatment plant expansion. It's going well. And then we had taken our water plant offline to do some things that the contractor needed to do, and we're planning to start up again May 1st, so we're moving towards that. And that is going to be concurrent with the zebra mussel control project. Our contractor's been busily working on that to be able to get that up and going so that when we start up the plant, we'll have the chemical there that will manage the zebra mussels. So we are working on a procedure to make sure that we don't have the types of taste and odor problems that you've heard about from other cities. And we just put a camera inside the pipeline that we've had since we've been offline. It's been empty. It's a 78-inch pipeline, and there are zebra mussels in there. The pipeline's empty, but there weren't nearly as many as we thought, and they're all dead. So we feel like we're going to have a good plan for making sure that we're going to start up slowly. We're going to make sure we check the water. We'll have some volunteers to taste it and smell it and make sure that it's A-okay before we put it out in the system. And then finally, on phase 2, final design, you know, we're off and running, and Walker Partners and Freese and Nichols have been working diligently on this. We're just launching the marine boring barge, so people may start seeing that, but we reached out to Valente, Aaron and I, to let them know that that was coming. And we're also going to start working on a driveway to get to the maintenance building site that we have. So there's some activities. I had a call today from one of the adjacent landowners who noticed that there was some survey markings out there. But I think we're off to a good start with Valente. President Navarrete and Board Member Duffy met with some of the new council members over there. We had a good meeting, and then Aaron and I followed up at their planning and zoning. Aaron gave a good overview of the project, and one of the adjacent landowners to our maintenance building was there and had a lot of questions, but it was a good dialogue. In fact, the village is looking at sort of finally moving forward with allowing us to put some of the groundwater monitoring wells in their right-of-way, which they had stalled on. So, in fact, I think they would have voted on it this week, or last week, if they would have had a quorum. But so we'll try. We're gonna try real hard to make sure that we have good communication with them and hopefully keep a good relationship. And then Drew Harden and I met with Travis County because we're going to need some permitting from them. We met with Commissioner Gerald Doherty and his assistant Bob Moore. That meeting went really well. They just asked that we keep them informed. And then on the Corps of Engineers, which you all allowed me to hire an attorney to help us out, we had a big meeting with a bunch of Aaron's team and LCRA to come up with a strategy. So we for starting our permitting there. So we'll keep you posted on that, but we feel pretty good about at least getting, hopefully being able to get the permits in plenty of time for when we need them. And then the last thing I want to mention is Round Rock's Communications Director Will Hampton and his staff, Stacy McIntyre, have been working on giving our website a much-needed overhaul. There it is. Yeah, it looks great. It's real easy to find information. It's streamlined. Y'all are on it. It's got links to your home pages on each your city's websites. But this will also make it easy for us to communicate as we proceed through the Phase 2 design project. If something comes up, we told Valente, we'll post it on here, and then they can send it out to their citizens, however, best to do it. They do that on Nextdoor or whatever. So we are really pleased with this. So thanks to the Round Rock staff. And that was all I had in my update.
Nice. Well, thank you, ma'am. The website looks great. Great updates. Moving along. There's so many moving parts, so it's nice to kind of catch everybody up on that. Okay, we'll move to item number 7, presentations. Consider a presentation regarding the fiscal year 2017-2018 BCRUA financial audit and action approving the same.
Okay, great.
I'm the Deputy CFO for the City of Round Rock, and Adam from Weaver was supposed to be here. I'm sure Karen let you know he had an emergency, so he's not going to be able to present the audit to you this evening. But I'm gonna jump in and just give you a quick overview of your CAFR, your annual financial report. There should be one in your packet. The audit is a combined effort of all 3 cities. Cedar Park leads the audit because they handle our BCRUA's financials and all of the payment processing. But each city reviews the CAFR, reviews the audit, and has input into the outcome of the audit. Weaver's report is on page 2 of your CAFR, and their findings is that all of our financials are presented fairly, that we have a clean opinion, which is good. That's what you want. They didn't have any audit findings that they needed to report to the board. And there's also another audit opinion at the back of the CAFR, and this is over internal controls, and it's on page 31. And they did not identify any material weaknesses in our internal controls. So that is another clean opinion. Of course, they only can identify what they've sampled, but in those samples, they did not see any weaknesses. One part of the CAFR that I always find very interesting is the MD&A, and that starts on page 5. It's the management's discussion and analysis section. When you write a CAFR, you're wanting to tell your story. When we do the City of Round Rock, we're wanting to tell a summary of what happened. So whenever we revamped BCRUA's MD&A this year to give a summary and a story of BCRUA. If you don't know who we are, this section will explain who we are. It will explain each phase of the project that has happened so far. It gives our financial conditions and some different variances, things that the average person might want to know about the BCRUA. So this is a great place to send people to get a nice overview of what we're all about. But that's all I have for you this evening. Do you have any questions for me?
Board, anybody have any questions? Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay. I'll motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by myself and a second by Secretary Flores. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously.
And I just want to say, this is my first audit to go through, obviously, for BCRUA, and it was such a great team effort, and all the cities contributed and I saw a lot of the red lines from what it had looked like before, and this is a much improved document. And for all the transactional stuff, like I said, that It makes things pretty complicated, to have no findings. I think that's a real credit to the Cedar Park folks who watch out for that. They did a great job, so.
Kudos to them, for sure. Okay, moving on to item 7B, consider a staff overview regarding the BCRUA Quarterly Investment Report for October 1st, 2018 to December 31st, 2018, and action approving the same. Mr. Robert Powers from Leander.
Thank you, Madam President. Tonight, it's my pleasure to present the investment report for the quarter ending December 31st, 2018. That seems like a very long time ago, which I think it is in economic terms. So I'm going to skip over the commentary that's in your report because a lot of that has changed in the last couple of months. But the portfolio summary, which is one of the first pages in the report, describes the change in the cash and investment position between the previous quarter ending September 30th, 2018, and December 31st, 2018, and the quarter that we're reporting on. The ending book value of the cash and investments increased by $16 million to $54 million, and that is entirely due to the 2018 bond series that you approved and we closed on with the Water Development Board last fall, with City of Cedar Park and the City of Leander participating in that issue. Investment income for the period, which is my favorite, is $171,000 for the quarter. The weighted average maturity of our investments was 34 days, and that is a significant drop from the previous quarter of 83 days. And the reason for that is that combination of two things. One is when we closed on the 2018 bonds, those funds stayed at the Bank of New York, which were not a long-term security, so they had, one-day maturity, essentially, cash. So that would obviously bring down your average for the quarter. Since this period is closed, we've moved those funds out to Techstar and other investments, and so we're earning money, and next quarter's report should see not only the investment earnings go up, but the weighted average maturity go up. So the average yield for the quarter was 1.4%. Again, that is low due to the fact that after the bonds were closed in last fall, they sat in cash until we got our account set up in Techstar and moved the funds out. So as Ms. Bondi mentioned, there are several funds that we have to keep segregated. We have the 2009 series, the 2017, and the 2018. Each city has its own account. Each city has its own construction fund. Each city has its own escrow account. So that goes to part of the challenge with investments, but we're trying to coordinate better with among ourselves to get better return. And I want to give a shout out to the Round Rock staff. They've significantly spent some time developing a cash flow model that's going to help us time our investments more appropriately and more productively. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Well, thanks. Okay. Any questions from anyone? No? Thank you, Mr. Powers. Do we need a motion to accept this one? I'll make a motion to accept the report.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by the president, second by Secretary Flores. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nay? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, the good one. Number 8, director closing comments regarding items of community interest. Does anyone have anything this evening you'd like to share? Just personally, I want to say good luck in the coming elections for all of you that are up for election. Ms. Bondi, anything? Okay. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.